What do I do with my life now?
We wait till the next epic continuation.
Fast and for tennis?
I don't know if that confuses me or enrages me.
Because the 10 is the I-O in Furious. You could make it. You could totally do that, man.
I know you could do it.
It's a missed opportunity if they don't. And I thought they were going on to 11 movies, but if you count Hobbs and Shaw, I guess that would make number 10 the last one?
I don't know if that... it's a spin-off, technically, so does it count?
I don't know. Technically, it's a Fast and the Furious movie. It's just not one of the main movies. And that's the thing, like, I don't know if that counts or not, but, yeah, okay, so...
This is a really long intro.
I mean, depends how you want... Anyway, So, what, should we talk about what we did?
We have to.
Okay,
like, it's kind of part of this journey now. So,
all right.
Preparing to watch this movie, you've never seen any of the Fast and Furious movies before.
No. I had watched the first two.
Okay, watch
back when they first came out. And the second one was underwhelming enough for me to be like, okay, they're going to keep making more, sure.
And then I saw like the trailer for this, and it was like, I am down. And then we hatched this plan.
I've been hearing about the Fast and the Furious movies for a while. I heard about how crazy F7 was, as everyone did. But like, it's this thing where the third one came out, and I was like, okay, so I heard this is pretty much basically unrelated to the other movies entirely, sure. And then just, I was like, okay, it's done. It was a weird little trilogy. And then the fourth one came out, and I thought, oh, the original people. Okay, they're maybe trying to do something with this. So I tried watching it when it came out, and I got like, I think 20, 30 minutes into it before I was like, this is really dumb and bad, and I'm bored. And I shut it off. Never went back to it again, but they kept coming out, right? So I finally got the incentive to do it, and I'm like, Michael, I want to catch up. We should do this together. It'll be a refresher for you. I'll buy the box set. And, you know, hang on, let me just... So I bought this thing. And we didn't watch all of them. We thought we might watch all of them at first, but we figured, like, it's 8 movies.
Yeah,
like,
by the time we started, it was already getting close to, like...
Yeah, we had passed too much time. So it's like, let's start with the fourth one where the new, like, lore pretty much starts. And, like, this thing, this is a lot of... It's a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And the naming convention for them gets increasingly infuriating.
Fast and infuriating.
But, you know, the fourth one is called Fast and Furious, which...
No, Fate of the Furious.
No, fourth one.
Oh, okay, I thought it's the most recent one.
No. So, that's Fast and Furious 4, Fast and Furious. And we watched it, and for the first half, it was really bad.
Yeah.
It was
trying really hard to be dramatic, and like it just wasn't working at all.
The acting was terrible. Like it was really something. But then the second half picked up a bit.
Kind of won us over a little bit as I got more into it, and then I feel like between 4 and 5, like, oh, this is the part people like. We're gonna lean more into that.
Yeah, and plus it's like the second movie in any trilogy. You're done with all the exposition of the first movie. You can just go and have some fun with the characters. So Fast 5, which weirdly spelled out the word 5. I didn't understand it. And left out the Furious part. Okay, but that's basically a really great heist movie. Yeah. It was actually really fun all the way through. It's a fun movie. It's where they introduce The Rock. They're down in Rio. They do this crazy heist, and that's what the crazy chase sequence at the end where they drag a 10-ton safe through the streets of Rio like a wrecking ball. And then...
It's so spectacular.
Yeah, and then Vin Diesel faces off against a bunch of cops going the opposite direction on a long bridge using the safe on his own as a weapon to take out cop cars. And what blew me away about this was that it was all practical effects. Yeah. Like, there was so much genuine destruction happening, and it's a sight to behold. It's super entertaining. And then, naming convention on this one is weird, because depending on where you look, it's Fast and Furious, like the fourth one, 6. However, in the movie, it still just lists itself as Furious 6. So, I don't know, but okay. So that one is basically the last one that's really concerned with being Well, the fifth one's the last one's really concerned with being an actual movie and having a plot. The sixth one is just
at back-to-back action.
Yeah.
It's the first one I saw of these movies.
Really? Oh man, what an entry point.
So that's when I was like, sold. I am in for these dumbass movies. And like, I think we actually reviewed that one on the channel, I think.
I should go back and check that.
Because like, you can watch them, like, you just kind of drag other people who haven't seen these movies into the next one and going, dude, I'm like, I know. And now we're here. Well, even including Fate of the Furious, which rewatching it now definitely is like aged the least out of these.
Yeah. So the thing about Furious 6 is that it is objectively a great movie. Like, there's no, for me it's a 5 out of 5. That shit is balls to the wall, just crazy. It is a stupid action movie. They don't lean too hard on the melodrama. I think there's like one scene, no, that's in Fast 5, where it's kind of melodramatic like Fast 4, but then like Furious 6 is just
Furious 6 is
constant fun.
Like with the Michelle Rodriguez's character is on part has like any kind of
she has amnesia and like
it's a soap opera with fast cars.
And there are stupid moments. There are moments that don't make any sense.
None.
But at this point, you're not holding this against them. Like if you're still watching these movies and you're still expecting them to follow any kind of like actual well-written logic, that's not the point. They're just stringing these scenes together for cool moments. So just enjoying that, and it's. To me, it's the best one.
See, for me, I still like 7 the most.
Well, but
I understand your reasoning.
Yeah, but we talked about that.
Yeah,
because the practical effects are something that really I've always loved about the series.
Yeah,
the fact that they actually did all these car stunts and everything. And Fast 7, I think, is a 5 out of 5 in a different way.
Very true.
Because it doesn't really feel that much like a Fast and the Furious movie, so much as it just feels like someone took them and, like, with the enthusiasm of a 12-year-old, was like, and what if they jumped the car between buildings, like, and, like, crashed through the building, and then went through another building,
I mean, honestly, the difference between that and 5 is, like, okay, there's a tank, it's going down the freeway, going,
no, that's 6. That's 6. But that's the thing.
So, yeah.
They did that, at least the tank they did with an actual tank.
That's true.
In 7, you know, a lot of that stuff has to be CG because it's insane. Like, how do you... And the last sequence is them, like, the gang basically facing off against a Predator drone.
Yeah.
Which, fully CG, of course. The car stuff is real, but it's still really funny in its own way, especially with what The Rock does. Like, the way he re-enters the movie.
Daddy's gotta go to work.
It's so incredibly over-the-top, testosterone-fueled. Also, The Rock and Vin Diesel, this is where they gain basically superpowers. Like, Vin Diesel basically squats and lifts a car.
Was that in 7?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah.
It's where they're trying to install the thing into the supercar in the Dubai Tower.
Right, yeah.
And then The Rock literally picks up like a giant minigun that's meant to be mounted on the fucking Predator drone. You know, the things that weigh like hundreds of pounds, not to mention all the ammo. But sure, he's the fucking Rock. And like, so that's fun.
Like, the 7 also did have like the Paul Walker tribute, which was genuinely pretty touching.
Yeah. No, 7 has a lot of really good stuff going for it.
Yeah.
I just think that as far as Fast and the Furious movies go, it doesn't quite... It feels like fan service, almost.
I can see to an extent. I don't know if I agree all the way.
It just feels like...
To me, it just feels like seeing how far they can escalate things.
Exactly. But it's also not made by the same dude, so it feels like...
I guess. I don't know. But
it feels like it's from a different guy.
Yeah, like... In
in
certain stylistic ways, sure, but to me, it still feels very much part of the franchise.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. And this will come in with F8 because I hated F8. Like,
I don't hate it, but I definitely don't like it as much as the first time I watched it.
Watching them back to back, you can feel the difference.
There is a massive difference in quality watching back to back.
They stop using the cars for like really cool precision shit, and it becomes just like cars as bludgeons, and it just feels like someone tried to make a crazy spy movie with the Fast and the Furious crew. And a lot of the lines for the characters just land the same way. The way they have Roman's lines come in just feel a little more awkward and weird. And I don't know, it wasn't as funny, it wasn't as charming. I was way more bored during some of the action sequences. I wasn't expecting that. So, I don't know, so there was that. But F9... we got Justin Lin coming back.
Yeah, we do.
And right before I went, I watched Tokyo Drift, because I had some time. So I watched Tokyo Drift. And here's the thing. Tokyo Drift really does come up during F9 because
Yeah.
they bring the characters from Tokyo Drift back. They're not like central part of the plot, but they are a major plot point within it. And while you can do it without it, it's definitely a super cool moment having just watched Tokyo Drift to see these characters popping back up. So that was very cool.
Basically what we're saying is before watching F9 is we systematically did a case study
we went through
on
the whole
Fast
series.
Furious saga up to this point, and then we drove out to like this biggest screen we can find at like 10:30 at night.
The 70-foot IMAX screen, like just.
And someone's like, "All right, we're fucking doing this, I guess."
I insisted. But yeah, it is directed by Justin Lin, the dude who directed 3 through 6 again, and I gotta say, it felt like Fast and the Furious again.
Yeah, I fucking love this fuck movie.
This was fucking great. It was such a good time. Even though, like, and it's weird because they do bring in, like, some vaguely sci-fi elements when they bring in the magnets and shit.
But they still make it work.
Exactly. The way that it's executed doesn't make it feel like I felt about F8. And I think F8 is important to this movie because it directly continues the storyline of that. It's...
Like, Vin Diesel has a kid now.
Well... I mean...
And, like, the whole villain stuff in the last movie, yeah.
No.
Like, what are you referring to?
No, like, all the characters, the bad guy and all that stuff.
Yeah, like, it's like Cypher and all that.
Yeah, but the Vin Diesel as a kid thing is a major fucking spoiler plot point.
The movie's been out for, like, last movie's been out for, like, 4 fucking years.
No, F9.
Like, the baby was in the last movie. We all know Vin Diesel as a kid at this point.
Was it?
Fate of the Furious was with Vin Diesel realized he has a son. That movie came out in 2017.
My bad, right. That's when he turns against all of them. It all bleeds together at this point. My bad, dude. That's my bad. 100%. Yeah, this is when you see the kid, like, as a tiny little person, and they're on the farm and shit. Okay,
yeah.
Sorry. I was just thinking Cypher, and I'm like, what is Cypher doing? Cypher's in a box for most of the movie. Never mind. But yeah, so all of the characters from F8 come back.
Yeah, for the most part. And except now it's like this isn't a trailer, so I'm not giving anything away.
Sure.
It's John Cena, who is the long lost brother,
which I called.
Yeah, I know.
I hadn't seen that trailer, and I was like,
and I was sitting there like, don't fucking say anything. I want to see how he reacts.
At the beginning of the movie, when it's like, oh man, what could this be? And I was like, watch, it's his long lost brother or some shit. Like, and it was his long. That's how cliche this shit is.
Yeah.
I just have a good time during these movies, trying to guess what lines are coming up if I'm singing it for the first time, and I've done it pretty consistently.
Yeah.
Like, we've watched like 6 of these movies together.
Oh my god!
In this past few weeks, and it's a thing I have done, and this movie was no exception. And that's the thing. Most of the time, that's you watching a movie, and you're just like, this is so predictable, and I'm like, oh god, this is so predictable. Oh, you. It's like part of its charm that it's this fucking cheesy. And how many times do they say family in this one?
Oh my god, if we were taking a drinking game during this one, we'd be dead.
Oh yeah, no, it's a good one. It's a good one.
And but like that being said, like it knows what it's doing in every like absurd soap opera bullshit way that it's doing its thing. With the inclusion of like weird like Batman Begins style flashbacks throughout the movie. Oh, and I'll give out like Don's backstory
and the meta jokes.
And the meta jokes. Yes, like that was the part that surprised me. I was like, they're just gonna have like the whole thing about this movie is Tyrese Gibson's character Roman kind of starts to pin together like, hey, you guys know we get increasingly dangerous situations and we just don't get a scratch on us. It's like
I think we might be invincible. Like this, and
like he's becoming one step away, just becoming like just Deadpool, and just know that he's in a movie.
Breaking the fourth wall. But I think that's the fun part there because I think Justin Lin, in the 2 movies that he was away from the franchise, watched the crazy shit that it turned into, and is totally fine and on board with it, but is kind of poking fun at how ridiculous it got at the same time. And it's just these running meta jokes, like the whole idea, the idea of Vin Diesel being John Cena's brother just looks very strange. And there's a point in the movie where one of the characters straight up calls out, like, didn't think there was any, like, what was it? fucking Anglo or like
something like that. Like, yeah, very distinctive jawline.
Yeah, it literally comments on the fact that he looks nothing like what you would expect to be in Vin Diesel's bloodline, and like, I don't know, I just thought that was really funny. But they're basically making ridiculous decisions and just calling out like, weird how that is, and just moving forward with them.
Yeah, like the whole thing that gets Roman's attention is the fact there's a scene where like they're in the jungle and he gets surrounded by these like military troopers, and he's just there by himself with one little gun and somehow takes out like 14 people,
guys.
Like 14 guys all by himself, and there's not a scratch on him.
Yeah.
There's some like holes in his shirt and shit, but other than that he's perfectly fine.
Bulletproof vest, and they all happen to hit the vest, and he's like,
And then right after that, he survives like his big ass
ridiculous
tank thing, flip over on a landmine, and then he survives it, crashing into another mine.
Yeah, it's a ride. Like, they did a really good job with just keeping things flowing with this one.
I mean, like, that's what I was saying, like, regardless of how you feel about any one of these entries, is the fact that at least every movie does something a little different.
Yeah.
And just pushes, like, how stupid can we take this?
And I really appreciate the fact that, you know, I mean, having now just done so, highly recommend just watching the whole series leading up to it, but the way that it carries through between each movie and the way that it consistently does new stuff and escalates, I don't know if I would say that this one is as good as 6, but it definitely feels on par with that level of quality of 5 and 6.
I don't know how I'd rank this one yet, honestly.
Yeah.
We only saw it a few days ago.
Yeah, it's very tricky because these are all such crazy fucking movies.
So it really boils like what action sequences did I enjoy more out of these. So like I think 7 is still fits that for me. 6 would probably be the one before that. Yeah, this would probably have par with 6 for me.
See, I actually ranked these on my Letterboxd.
Oh my god, you really committed to this.
Because I was like, in my head I was like, this is the thing. So 6 is the top one for me. 7 close behind that, and then F9 is right behind that. Then Fast 5, then 4 and 3, and then Hobbs and Shaw. Oh no, the original, and then easy to mix up the original and the fourth one. The original, and then 3, and then Hobbs and Shaw, and then 4 and 2 and 8. So yeah, I think the original had a certain charm to it. It was something special for its time. It's like a 7 out of 10 for me. And then Tokyo Drift was just really serviceable. Like it's still a decent movie.
Yeah,
it's not bad. It's just not exceptional. But if you're looking for a fun little movie about people racing cars and a fish out of water story about a Midwestern car enthusiast getting thrown into Japan, and thankfully it being directed by an Asian dude, so you don't get a bunch of horrible fucking racist jokes about Japanese people in the process. Great. It's a fun little unique movie in that way, and it ties directly into Fast 6 and Fast 9. So 100% recommend watching them all in order. It just makes sense. It works.
The system works.
Yeah, man, the little space sequence they had was hilarious.
Oh my god,
it was perfect.
I think my favorite one. This is going to sell into spoiler territory, so if you don't want anything spoiled, stop watching now and go watch it. I recommend it. It's fun. I think my favorite is just when we got to see Vin Diesel just Hulk the fuck out.
I forgot about that for a second. Okay,
I love that sequence so much because it plays it so straight.
Oh yeah,
as Vin Diesel, one of the best. As just straight up like Bruce Banner, just like Lou Ferrigno, just throwing people off him like these hordes of people. Tackling him.
They're in like this giant water pipe silo thing, right? Where it's just this giant concrete tube above and below them, and they're on that like little walkway. And he locks Letty past the door and is like, tell my kid I love him and I'm in his heart, like whatever. And she's like, no, Dom! And he proceeds to take on like 10 dudes at once. And he's getting the shit kicked out of him for a bit. And he's fighting back pretty well. And he continually picks up people and throws them against the wall.
Or he just like
off the
breaks them in half over the iron railing.
Literally just slams people down. Like, this should have been an R-rated movie, so we could have gotten just a little more out of those. I really want to see those.
Well, fucking brutal. But then it ends with like him grabbing like these 2 chains like on these support columns and just going and just pulling them down, causing the whole thing to collapse. It's you know, physically
speaking, he would probably just pull himself up. That's just what would make sense. But he just goes, and pulls down, like, not just the supports and the walkway that he's on with all the people, sending them plummeting down into the water far below, but also, like, a good portion of the thing above him. Like, he just...
just like MCU feet.
Oh, it's hilarious. It is. We were laughing so hard. It was so good.
Oh my god. And then of course, like when they actually do get the part with the magnets, which is a really fun sequence.
Oh yeah.
It was like they're being really creative with it.
Yeah, no, that's the cool thing. Like when they bring in, so basically one of the tools that these guys are using are really, really powerful magnets. And essentially initially they're using them as jammers to disrupt transmission signals and security systems within a certain area, like a mini EMP. But these guys get a hold of one of these magnets. They get a hold of the truck that's holding the magnets that are doing this, and they decide to steal them. So you have a sequence where 2 dudes are being... They get found out when they're first trying to steal it, so they're captured in the back of this van, and they're gonna be fucking murdered, basically, by the bad guys. And then the hacker lady from the last one, or from 7, shows up.
No, she's an 8.
No, yeah, but she's started in...
Cypher?
7.
Oh, you mean the other one?
Yeah, no, the hacker girl.
Oh, yeah, she started in 7, yeah.
Yeah, this ridiculously fucking attractive one. She steals the truck. And the thing is that apparently she can't drive. Like, she doesn't know how to drive. She never learned how to drive. So she's like, fuck it! And starts driving and starts randomly, like, activating and deactivating the magnet to take out things around her as she's driving to defend herself. So you have this, you have Dom doing his own chase sequence, chasing down his brother, who's like ziplining across the city. You've got...
Which is also a little funny, because it's not like he's doing like an action pose, it's just like John Cena just holding it and just...
Yeah.
Very slowly, so and like slightly off screen, so we're just kind of laughing, like every time he passes by, just hear him go, wee.
But so that's happening, and then there's what's the other car chase going on? Oh yeah, they're taking out Otto.
Yeah, Otto is like the rich prick who's like funding this whole thing.
So there's like 3 different things happening at once, and at the same time as she's going through the streets driving, in the back of the van, the magnet's there with the 2 guys. So they're in this hand-to-hand combat sequence with the guards who are back there, who have guns, but whenever they pull out the guns, there's this whole back and forth where she activates the magnet and the guns all stick to the wall, and then when she deactivates it, the guns fall and they start struggling over them and trying to get to the guns, and it's just really creative and fun to watch. It's amazingly choreographed.
Oh yeah.
Like that's the thing about Justin Lin. Justin Lin is easily one of the greatest action scene directors I've ever seen. Like the cohesiveness of these sequences and how interesting they are to watch, and how many things there are going on at once, but you're never confused about who is where doing what.
Yeah.
It is extremely well executed.
And then of course they have some like ridiculous practical stunt, like with the little CG in there. Like that part where they just launch a car like through a shop window into a truck. Like into the truck part with CGI, but that light, they literally launched a car through a shop window.
There's a bit of CGI in this, but again,
it should be expected. Their car goes into space.
Sure, but the amount of practical effects that were part of the big chase sequences, I really enjoyed that, because that's, like I said, Justin Lin, it's what he's doing, so it delivers.
It gets creative, and again, like the whole climax of the movie is them like going off against a super mega truck.
Yeah.
And they just, like, their solution is just to turn on the magnets and just literally just launch leagues of cars at him.
Yeah. And then at one point to turn the magnets way up and just pull down the power lines. Like,
yeah. Like, it's absurd.
What was the moment where I flat out, like, cheered?
It was, like, after Vin Diesel starts surfing the flipped-over mega truck.
Yeah.
And then he eventually flips it back around. And that's when Cypher...
Oh, yeah!
And that's when Cypher
takes out the drone.
The Cypher gets like a drone jet,
yeah,
and like it's like a heat-seeking missile or something, and then he leads the missile like back to the jet, and she's like, "Oh shit!" and then just bam, it goes for it.
He's I forget exactly what the physics were, but he
maybe it wasn't something like something launches into something that hits the jet.
He uses the magnet somehow.
Yeah.
But he does something where he essentially launches part of this giant fucking truck into a jet, and it was just this moment where I was like, yeah, like just, it was. These movies are fucking fun, dude. Like these are a great time.
Yeah.
And this was a return to form that I really enjoyed. It's not as batshit crazy as 7 was, but I feel like it's the level that I wished 8 was at.
I don't know, like that's a bit like it's funny you said that though, because you see like you and I both kind of saw these critics going like, oh, this is probably a little too much. And I'm like, what franchise are you watching?
Yeah, no.
First of all,
this is what I come here for.
It's like second of all, the other movies have done crazier shit.
Yeah.
Like arguably, this one, does have a car strapped to a rocket with a heat shield. They just launch into space.
Yeah, why not?
And then that car launches into a satellite.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah.
And like, that doesn't seem unusual at this stage of the game for the franchise.
It feels just ridiculous enough. And you know, it's not like it's not like Rise of Skywalker were showing up like with a fleet of cars in space. Like,
I think I always watch. I love watching. The pitch meetings have been doing like a series on the Fast.
Oh, I need to watch the Fast 9 one.
Yeah,
I've been holding off because I haven't seen it.
So like having the Fast 9 one, and I'm not gonna give it all away. But the one that made me laugh was like when what's his like Hans or whatever his name is like
Otto.
The one that comes back to life.
Oh, Han. Yeah.
Okay, it is Han. Okay.
Yeah.
Han comes back to life. He's like, oh, how does he come back to life? Well, he's like, well, Mr. Nobody makes it look really convincing. Like, okay, but how does he survive? He makes it look really convincing.
Yeah.
But like, are we getting into like, I need to get all the way off my back about how Han.
That is an ongoing joke in that series.
Yeah.
I do love that.
So I'm like, that's kind of how it is too, because it comes like really overly convoluted way for like Han to survive, while also not answering how he actually survived.
Yeah, no, I love how it's like it goes directly, takes the footage from F6 at the end of F6 and just like edits Han out of it, like.
Yep, like he's just not there now.
Jason Statham walked past it and suddenly he's not in the car anymore. It's like, how did that work? Okay. How did he get all the way over into that building where he's talking to Mr. Nobody literally 2 seconds after he was in the car and it explodes? Like, what are you... And they're like, nope, magic. And I'm like, all right, sure, this is stupid, but I'm in. Like, the series has achieved something incredible where you do not care about the logistics.
And you're still enjoying yourself. Like, I can't think of any other dumb franchises that have gotten away with that.
Yeah.
I can't think of any now that I think about it.
This series has done something really special at this point, and it delivers a blockbuster experience that is really unique. Yeah. And it's fun.
They are, like, they went from, like, these kind of, like, lesser-known racing movies to, like, a legitimate, like, event.
Yeah.
Like, whenever one comes out, you're like, oh, yeah, fuck yeah, I want to go see, like, Fast and the Furious movie. And it makes you wonder, like, oh, what are they going to do next? Are they going to put cars underwater? That feels like
I don't know, man.
Step, man.
I don't know.
Or are they going to put, like, lasers on the cars and then send them to space and literally have, like, Star Wars, but in space?
I don't
know.
Car Wars.
Star Wars. I would watch it.
I mean, it's already a racing event, but like it's. I don't know. I don't know what F10 is.
Better than Race Wars.
Oh, jeez.
That was what they called it.
I know, but that was still hilarious. And I was like, oh, this maybe not the best.
They did not think that through.
Well, if it's made by a bunch of white people, it's like, haha, it's a funny, get it? Because Race Wars. Yeah, it's
like if you
highly recommended.
If you've been on board with the rest of these movies up to this point, you'll get what you want, I think is what it boils down to.
If you have not been on board with these movies up till this point,
this is not going to change your mind.
Watch Fast 5. Just start there, because going in at this point with this one, you're going to be lost. None of these things are going to matter to you. The running jokes with the characters aren't going to, like, they'll make sense, but they're not going to land the same way. Do what I did. Like,
Just spent
Catch up.
3 weeks like slowly chipping through like 1 or 2 movies like a week.
I just said fuck it, I'm gonna do this, and I did it, and I do not regret it. So absolutely, Fast 5 is the star. I would say like Fast and Furious, the 4th one. I would say is a good place to start because I feel like that did give us some good context.
It did.
Even though it's not the best, it's a place to start. But if you are really skeptical and not willing to give it more than 1 movie of a try, Fast 5 is the best place to start. So give that a shot. If that doesn't, you know,
if it's not your thing, it's not your thing.
Like, go for it. Like, it's fine. You don't have to watch these movies, but damn, I'm so glad that we did this.
Me too.
Because I had a great fucking time.
Yeah.
And
it was
like,
definitely worth going into 9, knowing like with all the
refreshed. Yeah.
Refreshed, and you have all these things to compare it to now. Now you've basically done a case study on it.
Yeah. And like, I still like when we did a double feature of 6 and 7, which was the best idea.
Right.
Because they're the best ones.
Yeah.
But we had so much fun that night.
Dude, I was wasted.
We played the drinking game of taking like a sip of whiskey every time that they said the word family, and it happened quite a few times, I should say.
I went to work with a killer hangover that day.
Hydrate, buddy. You should have been drinking more water. Get your electrolytes in.
Lesson learned.
All right. But yeah, that's
Fast
all.
9.
Yeah, go see it. It's great.
Yeah. There's a lot that comes out this week. I know, like, America, the movie just came out. We're going to watch Zola in a bit. There's that terrible Chris Pine movie that's on Amazon right now.
Oh, the Tomorrow War?
The Tomorrow War.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing that exists.
And then, like, this is the fucking the new Purge movie. And whatever the other... Oh, The Boss Baby 2.
I'm not watching that.
I'm not asking you to.
Good.
I might drag Matt to go see that one.
Oh, boy.
Hey, buddy.
All right.
So, a lot to catch up on this week. Thank you guys for watching. See y'all later. Oh, new Curve of the Hunter video's out. Come watch that. Bye.